I was really shocked when South Korea lost to Mexico. Hello everyone, I'm Ka, a Vietnamese guy living in South Korea. Today, South Korea was playing Mexico, so I headed to the fan zone early to watch the match. Since the match kicked off at 10 a.m., I had to head out at 8:30 a.m., and I was still really sleepy. I was joined by a Vietnamese friend, and from the moment we stepped out of the station, you could already feel the football atmosphere everywhere. Because the World Cup is being hosted in the Americas, the matches are played in the morning Korean time. Even though it was a Friday and people would normally be at work, a lot of fans still came to support the national team. The roads around the viewing area were packed, and traffic was backed up for quite a long stretch. The sun was scorching, but that didn't stop the fans. Many people were willing to sit out in the heat just to support the national team. I decided to sit out in the open under the scorching midday sun to watch the game. Even though I knew I'd probably get a lot tanner, I didn't want to miss out on the atmosphere. As the South Korean national anthem began to play, everyone around me sang it together. Even though I'm not Korean, I could really feel the passion, pride, and excitement that filled the entire stadium. My friend and I were probably the only Vietnamese fans in the crowd. Even though Vietnam wasn't playing, we still wanted to be part of the World Cup atmosphere and enjoy the experience of supporting the South Korean national team with thousands of passionate fans. The South Korea versus Mexico match was finally underway. Everyone knew how important this game was, even before it started. South Korea had beaten the Czech Republic 2-1 in their opening match, so if they could avoid defeat against Mexico or even pull off a win, they would be in a very strong position to qualify for the knockout stage. At the start of the first half, both teams played cautiously and spent a lot of time feeling each other out. Having studied footage from each other's opening matches, they were already familiar with their opponents' playing styles. Possession was almost evenly split, and neither side managed to create many clear-cut scoring chances. South Korea adopted a relatively balanced approach rather than trying to dominate possession. They frequently used long passes and high balls aimed at Captain Son Heung-min, hoping he could use his pace and individual quality to create chances. South Korea's most threatening attacks came from wide areas. Their wingers frequently sent crosses into the penalty area, while the forwards made sharp runs across the defenders. Although these attacking patterns caused problems for Mexico's defense, the finishing touch was missing. The sun was absolutely brutal. Even with 2 hats on, I still felt dizzy and had a headache. After sitting outside for hours, I'm certain my arms and legs will be much darker by the end of the day. After 45 minutes, the score remained 0-0. It wasn't the most exciting first half, as both South Korea and Mexico played cautiously and created very few dangerous chances. The game lacked the intensity and attacking action that many fans had been hoping for. The second half began with changes in attacking personnel from both sides, but it was Mexico who struck first. Following a Mexican attack, a critical error from the South Korean goalkeeper resulted in a disastrous goal, handing Mexico the lead in very unfortunate circumstances. A replay of the goal shows that it was not a highly threatening attack from Mexico. However, a clear individual error by the South Korean goalkeeper turned the situation into a disaster, and the co-hosts Mexico eventually opened the scoring. Mexico got the breakthrough they were looking for with the opening goal. Shortly after, they made tactical changes, replacing an attacker with more defensive players and switching to a low block, counter-attacking approach that proved very uncomfortable for South Korea to break down. Both of us were cheering really loudly for South Korea, despite the scorching heat of over 30 degrees here in Korea. As South Korea became more rushed in their play, they began to commit more fouls, and one player was eventually booked with a yellow card by the referee. Even after South Korea brought on all their strongest attacking options, Mexico's defensive structure continued to stand firm and do a very good job. Even though South Korea committed fully to attack, many of their moves were either caught offside or broken down due to miscommunication between the players. This was a very dangerous attack from Mexico, but the South Korean goalkeeper managed to make a crucial save. Even though South Korea are behind, the fans' love and support for their team doesn't seem to fade at all. That was a huge opportunity for South Korea to level the score, but it was brilliantly denied by the veteran Mexican goalkeeper. It was a huge opportunity, but a very disappointing moment for South Korea. As South Korea earned a corner, there's a strong sense of anticipation for a possible equalizer. However, Mexico's defense continued to stand strong and dealt with the danger effectively. In the end, South Korea fell to a narrow one-goal defeat against Mexico. With this result, Mexico booked their ticket to the next round, while South Korea will now have to fight for qualification in their final group game. Even after this loss, South Korea still remain in contention thanks to their strong opening result. They can still go through if they beat South Africa in the final match, or even draw on the condition that Czechia lose to Mexico. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and follow if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate your support. Thank you.